Welcome you all to a series of corporate social responsibility. Actually, this has three series from Spire Campus. Study CIMA online. This is an area which is very challenging in the examination. I don't want to hide the fact. Corporate social responsibility questions are somewhat challenging in the BA4 paper. So when we go for our higher requirement of marks, this is an area where you have to work harder. So these are the learning objectives of corporate social responsibility, entire syllabus content in it. So I've decided to kind of cut this series into three in order to make learning easier. So what's corporate social responsibility for a company? Duty of the company to the environment, the employees, the shareholders, the customers, and the suppliers, and of course finally the local community. So it's literally 360 degree of commitment to all around. Companies do so, right? This is JAT Holdings, one of Sri Lanka's very active companies in the paint related industry. The company has taken massive steps to abide by the international standards on the use and the processing, manufacturing, and then the distribution of chemicals. To ensure, and the company-wide, there has been a step measures taken by the company to minimize the carbon footprint. This is a list of companies, the most socially responsible companies. As you can see, the top notch always follow corporate responsibility because that's their duty. This company like Coca-Cola would be coming up with something like billions of bottles over 10-year period. And much of it is actually plastic bottles, and a lot of it would end up in the landfills or the rivers, streams, oceans, right? There's massive damage to the environment due to this plastic pollution. So Coca-Cola has taken steps about a year back to come up with 100% plant-based bottle. This is social responsibility by them. So what does CIMA say about the social responsibility? Remember, these two phrases are needed when you go after a question, right? Number one, continuous commitment. The highlighted words next one, the local community. These two phrases are a must if the particular answer is to be connected to corporate social responsibility. Again, CSR is a continuous commitment, isn't it? Company should support the economic development. But while that being the case, you cannot ignore the workforce and their families, and the local community, and the society. So the company's commitments do not stop at economic development or making money, increasing cash flows, making profits. It goes beyond, right, to the workforce, the families, the community, and the society. And yes, it's a continuous duty. That's what CIMA is at. But then this approach of social responsibility is not always popular among everybody. Take a look at what Milton Friedman argued a few years back, that companies has no responsibility outside making profit or outside of making profit for the shareholders or the stakeholders, creditors. But what's the truth behind it? Can you expect a company to completely make money and forget the rest? World is 7 billion and counting. We got only 180 plus governments. Can we expect the governments to take care of these massive people? Truth is, if you look at the 1,000 world's largest organizations, more than 950 of them would be companies, not countries, not governments. You may have the USA, then European Union, China, India, Russia, few countries. Thereafter, all the other more powerful entities are companies. So companies have a duty to the society. But of course, this kind of a society has a price to pay. Take a look at it. Yes, if you are corporate social responsibility focused, then you have to get your material sources, supplies also from ethical sources, and that will not be cheap. Second, when you do business, you need to avoid doing business with unethical customers, like unethical companies, unethical countries. Businesses normally go where the money is, right, rather than where the ethics is. The last one is very important. CSR is something that takes loads of effort. Company down, from the board of directors down. It needs huge amount of planning and strategizing, involving top-notch people in the company. So focusing on CSR may take the top people, away from the business folks. But anyway, CSR has benefits. You can pull up extra customers. Remember, ethically unsound companies are not exactly popular. People do buy products not because of the quality only. They look at other aspects also. Employees would be happier to stay with such companies, and the new employees would be happy to join such companies. Ethically sound, corporate social responsibility focused companies. And companies take charge of being responsible to the society. You don't need too many laws. And basically, get rid of some of our laws. Actually, yes, it's a long-term investment. Corporate social responsibility. Other arguments for CSR. It's an exam key area. Attract customers can be done. High caliber staff, definite. Provide a human resource base, meaning there'll be purchasers, customers, suppliers, employees, right, coming from far away also, because the company name is known, because of better branding, better quality, better reputation. And yes, it's a fantastic, probably one of the best forms of advertising, this CSR. Not every company has done CSR good. This is a topic that was popular only about 15 years ago. In 1990s, Nike was caught red-handed employing children, thousands of them, in factories making Nike shoes. Those factories are not owned by Nike, but Nike was buying shoes as per their, the contracts with those factories. Nike would give the design, Nike would give all the rules, orders and everything, and the factories would make them. Where are the factories? Where were they? Indonesia, in Vietnam, I think, in Cambodia also. Thousands of underage children, girls were utilized, abused actually, to work in these factories to make shoes for one of the world's most renowned sports brand. Became public, the damage to Nike was enormous. Nike spent a decade clearing up its name. Today Nike is, but this was their past. Take a look at McDonald's, who has a very shady past when it regard to the use of trans fat oil, when the company was fully aware, right, that the particular fat was very bad for users, especially children. Scientists found that the trans fats used in food was very much harmful for the heart related diseases. Other companies moved away from trans fat, but not McDonald's. They kept on doing it. Lots of backlash against the company, and finally McDonald's changed. But by that time the damage is already done. Even now McDonald's is facing negative publicity due to its past. Think, why would a company refuse to change even when they know that they are doing a bad thing? What would be the negative publicity to a business? That's up to you to think. Then we're coming into this. When it comes to social responsibility, there are 4 specific areas, sectors: economic, legal, ethical, and philanthropic. Very examinable area. What's the meaning of economic? Yeah, that's number 1 part of Carroll's model. Meaning, yes, you have to make money. You need to do R&D. You need to improve your sales. You need to improve your market share. All that is needed, because company's number 1 duty is making money. But remember, you have ethical duties. Company cannot be focusing on CSR and on the other hand laws. No. A company that focuses on the corporate social responsibility has a duty to the society. Yes, but has a duty by the law also. Now comes to the genuine CSR part. Identifying what the society wants and giving it to them. That's the ethical duty of a company. This is the highest duty of a company, being ethical. Ethical means noticing what the society needs and try to provide it. Philanthropic, that means going beyond what the society needs, going extra mile, more than what the society needs. That's philanthropic. How we behave socially responsible also differs from person to person, company to company. Take a look at these four options available for a company. Reaction, that means you do nothing. You don't bother about social responsibility. That's what Milton Friedman stated. Mind you, there are plenty companies thinking that. Defense, well, you do only minimum, not too much. Accommodation, yes, you're good there. You identify what the society wants and give it back. Proaction, going even beyond what the society wants. Questions are there. Whenever there's a question, remember to read the answers first before you read the question. Reaction, defense, accommodation, proaction. Which of the following is the responsiveness strategy where the corporation denies any responsibility for social issues? Always get back into the main content. Never do any professional part in a study out of kind of memory. Don't do that. Your memory power has little use in professionalism. Your updating skill is what's needed. Always get back to the study guide or the other content and update yourself and then come back to answer. What's the answer? Reactions in it. And then economic, legal, ethical, philanthropic. According to Carroll's model of CSR, which is the highest responsibility? Again, the highest responsibility. Actually, it's ethics, the highest responsibility. Accommodation, communication, commitment, reaction, defense, accommodation, proaction, targeted growth, etc. Carroll suggested various strategies that could be employed by a company to respond to social pressure. Which of the following correctly lists these strengths? Back again, do not try your memory, doesn't help. Let's get to the main content to get it right. Economic, legal, ethical, philanthropic. Yes. Sure, that's the focus that you do whenever you have a question coming your way. Choose to do it out of memory because that's a bad idea. Number 2, isn't it? Okay, developing a CSR strategy. As I suggested earlier, CSR is something planned, envisaged, visioned, discussed, debated, right? Executed at the top. Board of directors is the first to think of a CSR strategy. So how would they do that? Imagine something like, let's say, the Bindu program by Brandix. What they do is, they're providing water for the schools where there are no water supply facilities. There are lots of schools in Sri Lanka where access to water is not there. Children bring water all the way from somewhere else, right, from homes. School doesn't have a water facility. So Brandix has been providing these water facilities to the schools. So identifying the stakeholders. Okay, we should do something social responsibility wise. What shall we do? Classify stakeholders. That means what sort of different requirements the people have, what kind of different needs the people have. Establish stakeholder claims. That means identifying the seriousness of these demands. Then assess the importance of stakeholder. Okay, what we can do and what they need should be matching. No, sometimes what they need may not be something in our capacities, so we should match our capacities and their needs. And finally, take action. These are some of the CSR strategies that we have done in Achievers and later in Aspire. We launched a campaign on violence against women. Back to back 3 years we did for 5-year duration, 3 times. Violence against women in public transport is a very, very public crime. This is the biggest crime in Sri Lanka, and it's a crime that people don't want to talk about. So, launch a sticker campaign and a bit of an awareness campaign in the hospitals also through the posters. The posters we used to the hospitals and the stickers we utilized in buses. We had lots of support from the community, and we covered three districts: Norelia, Kandy, Matale, a little bit in Badula district as well. And this was enormously successful. So we did it twice to increase awareness, right? Should not be silent when there's violence against women, especially in public transport. The cleanup of Kandy Station twice. Kandy is a gateway to, Kandy Station is a gateway to Kandy. Station is being dirtied by the people, not by the station staff. Do the things carelessly, irresponsibly. So twice over we cleaned Kandy Lake. I'm sorry, Kandy Station. Um, you know, uh, to make it look better. Of course, we did it only twice. So continuous commitment is what social responsibilities. We launched an online campaign also asking people not to throw things. Okay, so that's part two. Up in the next lesson. These are the summary content that we learned. From each of these areas, there's a chance of a question coming. Ready for it? You must go at least over 80% in CSR, because it's very, very crucial to know this particular area to the full when you move into the upper levels. CSR is thoroughly checked in the CIMA learning to our capacities on it. Catch you in another lesson.